My pleasure to welcome you back to the marketplace. Let's now settle for the very first story. And some local companies, Pioneer Kitchen, Cocoa Processing Company, and Aluworks, have up to December to turn their fortunes around through injection of capital or be delisted from trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange. This follows the persistent poor performance of these companies on the stock market for some time now. The companies have already been given notices to revive their activities on the stock market or being taken off. Here's Chief Executive of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Kofi Yamwa.
CPC Cocoa Processing Company, Aluworks and Pioneer Kitchen Limited. We did indicate that we are expecting some information from these. We have announced information from Aluworks indicating that they are in firm discussions with an existing significant shareholder to inject new capital, i.e. to sell new shares to them, and hopefully that will correct the working capital difficulties that they've had for so long. And if that happens successfully, then obviously the company will be taken off the watch list. The case of Pioneer Kitchenware is not looking too good, so if the deadline of December comes and it still has not been rectified, then we'll have no choice but to take the company off the market. We believe that Clystone will virtually be lifted off the watch list once the third quarter results of September comes and the improvements we saw in the earlier quarters are sustained. Basically that.
Meanwhile, founder of GN Group of Companies, Dr. Papakwesi Indum, has hinted it will list part of its shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange to offer an opportunity for Ghanaian investors to own part of the company. The company says the move is expected to be executed in 3 years to strengthen its operations in the country. Dr. Indum made the revelation at a ceremony which saw one of his companies, GN Insurance, engage some insurance brokers to forge closer ties.
We have started small. So we will put fertilizer on it, we'll put some water on it, we'll tend it, remove the weeds every now and then, and we'll work to make it grow. Then when it grows, then we will make sure that it becomes something wonderful, something good, something that is befitting of being a part of our group, but being something that we proudly call Ghanaian. Now, if you've heard me speak anyway, you would understand that we are not developing GN Insurance only to go and sell it or market it to some foreign insurance company to come and put their brand on what we have developed here in Ghana. And those of you look into the future, perhaps in another year, 2, 3 years, what we intend to do is to offer some of our shares to anybody who wants to become a part of what we do, not just of GN Insurance, but of GN Life, of GN Reinsurance, of our health company, and become a part of what we are building as GN Insurance Holding Company.
Still within the insurance sector, Managing Director of the State Insurance Company, SIC, is calling on policymakers and law enforcement agencies to implement stiffer punishment for businesses and individuals who fail to insure their assets. Speaking on Thought's leadership program, the Executive Lounge with Insurado, the MD of SIC, Stephen Odro, emphasized that such an action would enable the roping in of many into the insurance sector to boost insurance penetration. He also advised government to ensure all public sector buildings.
I don't see the reason why people living in Circle don't buy flood insurance, but they run to NADMO. What is NADMO going to do for you? They'll give you a secondary school mattress for you to sleep on. And where are you going to sleep? You see, so we need to go out there, forget about air conditioning office, go out there and let people know the advantages of having insurance. The one thing I've been saying, I'll keep on saying it again. Every government building must be insured. The former Foreign Affairs Office at Tema Station.
Well, that one that went up in smoke, yes.
If it had been insured, it would have been fixed by now. Now it's become a white elephant. And I'll use that as an example until it's drilled into the authorities to know that In fact, the senior minister, not too long ago, gave a speech and said government buildings must be insured. All police cars must be insured. Okay, so at least STC, they insure their cars. So,
but it's quite interesting you say this. So as we speak, the biggest spender in the Ghanaian economy, which is the government of Ghana,
it's the government. It
doesn't insure majority of its properties.
Exactly. Yeah. We do insure some hotels, which is fire and all risk insurance. But you see, when business is not good, they will tell you, I don't have the money to insure it. That in itself should be an eye-opener. In the meantime, you get people coming there to sleep. Okay? What happens if there's an accident? Are you going to tell the person, oh, I didn't have money to continue my policy? But the enforcement and the penalty for not having it should be severe.
All right, so you watch the full version of the interview with Stephen Odro, the MD of SIC, tomorrow, Saturday at 6 p.m. on the Executive Lounge on Joy News. Moving on, corporate organizations and investors in the Western region have been urged to put systems and controls in place to avoid hacking into their internet systems. This comes at the back of a research conducted by E-Crimes Bureau, which indicates the Western region is the third highest region prone to cyber attacks and threats in the country. The situation, according to Business Operating Manager of E-Crime Bureau, Philip Dankwa Debra, might escalate very soon because of the increased number of businesses showing up in the Western region because of the oil find. There's more in this report.
Is affecting the economy of the Western region, and all efforts must be put in place to fight against the menace.
Is to bring together industry players within the region to also update them on the sort of issues that is happening within the cyberspace, especially when it comes to cyber crime and then financial fraud, which are perpetrated through electronic mediums, so that we can up our level of awareness when it comes to cyber hygiene, in line with the theme for this year's activities, which is a safer digital Ghana. And the essence is to drive awareness. People should be able to know about their risk exposure to the cyber environment. When you are using the Facebook, when you are using the Twitter, when you are using LinkedIn, when you are doing your online banking, you know, there's always a risk associated with some of these threats, and we need to know where the issues are so that we can prepare ourselves as a people to face the threats. Especially when companies are, as we speak, have been compromised in a way they don't know. We are only left with when there's a big financial transaction before they realize that, you know, they are living, you know, or sitting on a time bomb.
Western Regional Manager of the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, Albert Abebiu, says several organizations in the Western region have lost sensitive data and money to cyber attacks, even with robust security infrastructure.
Association of Ghana Industries understands fully the threats, the cyber threats that organizations or corporate or businesses face presently. We are not insulated from these crimes. I mean, the world over, many companies have lost sensitive information, they have lost money, they have lost their businesses, principally because of some of these threats, cyber threats and criminal activities by cyber criminals on their businesses. So the impact is huge. Not long ago, according to the Minister of Communications, Honorable Osla Owusu-Edufo, mentioned that Ghana lost about $50 million in 2017 through the actions of cyber fraudsters or cyber criminals. And so everybody is at risk and businesses are at greater risk.
Representatives of some businesses affected by cybercrime shared experience with Joy News.
For cyber fraud, my business have had that experience before, and from that we still prepared our mindset that we are expecting one, so we always continue to upgrade ourselves. We received an issue or challenge from our purchasing department, where an email was sent requesting for an order to be sent to a certain vendor, but we got to know that the sender was actually not real, and so we reported this to our center. And because we are actually a corporate organization, we had systems in place. We have our DNS server, we have a cyber room that actually filters messages. So once it enters our domain, the system tells us that this is fake.
They tell you that you see on WhatsApp that this particular product has been banned in Ivory Coast for causing some pimples on some people. No, it's true. And then they put some pictures side by side with it, and then they distribute it.
It is worth noting that there were some of these things that were going on, and that people could change words, just change words, similar words, just remove one letter, and then people were using it to defraud companies. Personally, for the company I worked for, there was a publication in one of these papers, I don't want to mention the paper, about a certain land issue. I studied very, very critically, and I found out that no, there was just one simple sentence that was missing. And with that, I was able to detect that the letter that came to us, so-called published in a national newspaper, was fake.
There's a lot of cyber, fraud on the net, and sometimes you receive certain informations from some people, and they want to. Sometimes it is related to some consignment that they have sent to you, and they want to clear at the harbor and all that. If you are not very smart enough to know that you have not discussed any business issues with anybody, and you go ahead and give any information to them, that is where they get into your data.
Philip Dankwa Debra says issues.
Now, over the years, finding solutions to the persistent issue of unemployment has mostly focused on capable youth in society who can easily channel their energies into productivity. However, one important section of society has been relegated to the background. This is providing jobs for the mentally challenged. Well, one woman is helping to make employment possible for these affected young ones through her foundation known as the Ajumai Foundation. Karen Dodu reports.
That's the sound of 28-year-old Rashida's machine as she stitches together empty water sachet to make a school bag. Together with 6 others, they are converting recycled items using water sachet in Tamale. As 2 other ladies wash the sachet, a gentleman sorts them out and the rest do the sewing. Just like the rest of the team, Rashida is recovering from a mental condition. After several years of being unemployed and segregated by society, Rashida is elated to be working.
It's fine. He gave me this one, and now so.
Before you met Madam, did you ever worry that maybe you don't get work to do one day?
I'll do this one every day. If you come work, I will do this one and penny for material. Yes, I like it.
This opportunity has been made possible by Ellen Seldenthius, a Dutch who has lived in Tamale since 2004. Popularly called Sister Salima by the locals, her mission is to create employment out of plastic waste through her project, Ejumaya Foundation.
I love your country because it's having so many varieties. You see so many different things. But with every step I took, I saw this rubbish. I saw that everything was so very filthy. And I think I have to do something with that. So when I came back to Tamale, I was having a room in the middle of town, and I put my table outside with a sewing machine on top of it. And I started sewing this pure water sachet. And I was gathered with children. They were coming around, and they started gathering this pure water sachet. And then I thought, what can I do from it? And then there was a child who told me that, can you make a school bag out of this pure water sachet? I said, well, I can try. I said, but then you have to bring 250 pure water sachet, and that is how it started.
So far, Sister Salima and her team have managed to make over 700,000 products out of recycled plastic, including school bags, raincoats, and pencil cases. The Ejumaya Foundation provides training such as beading and sewing for persons with mental challenges. Currently, the foundation has 25 beneficiaries who are paid 13 cedis a day, including an insurance package for themselves and their families. She explains her dedication to these mentally challenged is her own way of giving back to society.
We do have a special school here in Tamale, and most of them, they have attended that school. And one came first on Saturdays. Haruna, for instance, he was always in town roaming, and he was not having any work. And I'm from the Netherlands, and in Holland, I work with mentally disabled people, so I'm always attracted by them, and we feel each other. So yeah, within a short time, more and more come, and also parents, they got to know that I work with these people. So more parents who have a child like this, they come to us, and then we work together.
To drive the agenda of keeping Ghana clean, Ellen does not sell most of the plastic clothing she makes, rather gives them back to children in return for a number of empty sachets. We can see several goods that Ellen and her team have put together. Now, one interesting thing I learned, or one thing she told me today, is that if I want something like this school bag here, I cannot get it with money, but rather I have to bring a number of 250 empty sachets to get this bag.
If I calculate only the workmanship, I think a school bag like this will cost 10 to 15 Ghana cedis. Nobody here wants to buy pure water bag for 10 or 15 Ghana cedis. So the only thing what we can gain is that children and grown-ups also see how filthy our Ghana is, and that we can do something ourselves to clean it up.
For Ellen, keeping Ghana tidy is as important as creating happiness for these youth. For Joy Business, Karen Dodo.
Let's now move to the Ashanti region now, and government is hoping to leverage the use of bamboo and rattan, the two largest non-timber forest products, to complement revenue generated from the forestry sector. In this regard, the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry has initiated a program to encourage large-scale cultivation of the two plants to promote their use in building and construction. Nanaya Ojima reports.
Government's effort is being boosted by free training of 100 artisans in bamboo and rattan by the Chinese government. Beneficiaries selected from across the country will undergo 4 weeks intensive technical course in advanced bamboo processing technology and designs. Bamboo and rattan artisans decry lack of government support. Government promises to support bamboo and rattan industry by promoting patronage of their products for pulp, wood, flooring and furniture, among others. Benito Usubio is Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources.
Besides, bamboo is a unique material with a range of socio-economic and environmental benefits, and hence it is the desire of the government of Ghana to protect these resources and promote its utilization in various forms. In addition, recognizing the current alarming rate of deforestation in the country and the high demand for wood and wood products, which virtually has declined in volume and quantity, bamboo could serve as a potential rescue to the ailing timber industry and a source of employment generation for the youth.
China is the world's leading exporter of bamboo and rattan. It accounted for $1.16 billion, representing 68% of global export value. Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Shi Tianwan, is encouraging Ghana to take advantage of booming bamboo and rattan industry.
According to the reports, there are several bamboo and rattan bicycle manufacturers in Kumasi, in this city. All this is the evidence. All this evidence makes me very confident in the development of the bamboo and rattan products industry in Ghana. China is also willing to continue to give more support to Ghana in terms of the bamboo and rattan seedling and the planting, processing, and export expansions.
Nanayo Jima reporting.
And still in Kumasi, the Energy Commission is encouraging women to take up electrical technician roles and enroll for the certificate program to enable them explore opportunities in the sector. Head of Public Affairs, Victor Owusu, observes the virtual male dominance, though women have exhibited capacity to excel in the field. He was speaking at the graduation for 400 newly trained electricians in Kumasi. Once again, Nana Sensu reports.
The Energy Commission said it is determined to ensure only certified practitioners undertake industrial and domestic wiring as well as installation. Mr. Owusu said it is the only way to avert or at least minimize incidents of fire outbreak with the attendant casualties and destruction.
Having been duly certified by the Energy Commission of Ghana.
Over the last 5 years, the Commission has trained and certified over 7,000 electricians. Over 80% of them are males. He said women must take advantage of the training to earn a living and reduce unemployment.
I agree, the gender imbalance is too wide. There's the need to bridge the gap. You will look at it and see how best you can go for it. I think we need to collaborate with some of these women associations, gender organizations, and see how we will collaborate and ensure that the girls are encouraged to come and take advantage by training in electrical wiring. There are a lot of training schools in town, so you will see how best we can address that imbalance.
Mr. Owusu advised estate developers and landlords to hire only certified electricians with safety standard expertise to undertake wiring and installations.
Certified electrical wiring professionals. Because what we are doing, we are trying to protect lives and property by ensuring that only certified electrical wiring professionals are engaged in wiring business. First and foremost, we have succeeded in injecting professionalism into the electrical wiring business. But we take all the artisans in this country, all the artisans, fitters, carpenters, masons, plumbers, the electricians are the only people, the only breed of artisans who are regulated. And when I talk about regulation, it means that they follow some kind of procedure in acquiring their certification.
Some of the trainees shared their experience on how the training has enhanced their work.
Actually, I'm a teacher teaching electrical technology in school. But during our time in school, what they taught us in school, with this training, there's slight difference. The technology have changed. When it comes to earthing, at first we were using 2.5 for earthing, but now due to the training, we are now using 16 mm for the earthing, which we know earthing helps in reducing of shock, consumption of electricity, and the risk of fire.
For JoyNews, Nana Asansumensa.
And on that note, wrap up the marketplace for today. Many thanks for watching. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Have a great weekend.